So if you want to continue, let's imagine that we as a programmers, we need to get the input of a user. Okay, so the user signs in a request or login or stuff like this, maybe a register for our website. We are not going to hard code the values. We need to read somehow the values that the user added. So we need to be able to read this 50, to read this A, to read this true, to read everything. We are not going to hard code it. What we have done right here is called hard coding. So we need somehow to read the data from the keyboard, okay? But how? Well, that's not easy if we would like to make it by ourselves, so the logic from zero, so from scratch. This is why we are going to use a built-in library. So libraries are just already prepared blocks of code that are doing stuff. And we can just import them and use the code that other developers have done for us. As an example, maybe we want to include the library. I need to say the keyword include, smaller, bigger, and just say IO stream. This comes from input output stream, which means input we want to read data, output we want to write data. And let's delete this and make another variable integer a and semicolons. Okay, how we can read this a? I want to tell the user, okay, you can add a number. So we can assign a number to this a from the keyboard. So this is going to be seen console input. It comes from console input. So reading something from the console. And I want to read a. And that's it. So you can see that almost every part of the code is finished with a semicolon. But you need to add std dot dot. Not dot, double dots. Okay. But you need to add std double dots. And now we can use the scene. But this is a bit annoying. So we can just import another stuff using namespace std. And now we can remove the std from here, and it's going to be added by default. Okay, and let's try to read it. So add another debug. You can see the A right here, and the program now it's waiting for me to read something. And I have the terminal open, so I'm going to click here and read something from the keyboard. Let's say 55 and press enter. Now I added 55 from my keyboard, and the scene knows to get that 55 and offer it to A. And from what you can see, the A right now is having 55. Let's try again with a boolean one, B, and do the same scene and try it again. So add the B debug one, step over. So now the program is waiting to read something. So 55, the A is having 55, B is having false as a default. So I'm going to skip it and say 1. And 1 means true. So now B is having true. So 1 from the keyboard. Okay. And that's the idea. Okay. Hope you enjoyed it. So now we learned how we can assign the data from our keyboard.